Thank you so much for being here today. Today we're going to be speaking about AI Dreamscapes, leveraging generative art for mindfulness in XR. You might be wondering, what is this all about? This is basically the application of generative AI or artificial intelligence platforms or systems in order to create experiences that are meaningful to be used in immersive spaces, or what is called also extended reality, which stands for virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality. So let's begin with a quick reflection. When was the last time that AI truly took your breath away? The reason why I am asking this is because we are inundated by a world of publicity speaking to us related with AI in the sense of just efficiency, effectiveness, how fast we can do things, how much content we can create. And this is a particular application that not necessarily is leveraging those type of benefits, but other ones related with mindfulness, with the use of this technology also in environments that are three-dimensional. My name is Diana Olynick. I am an engineer by profession. I am at this point a mentor, a speaker, and an author. So I am very glad to be here with you today and share with you the result of some studies that we have performed during the last years related with the no use of 2D interfaces in 3D spaces. And it happens that AI Dreamscapes is one of those case studies as a result of that major study. So today, right now, we have been speaking a lot about many benefits of AI. As you might know, there are very significant benefits in terms of content creation or generation of data. This particular study is trying to showcase how we can leverage this technology for another type of application, which is related with benefits in the field of mental health. So that's why this right now, the invitation that we are having this reflection is, how do we get from pixels to perception using AI? This was born out of a compilation of years that were brought in this document that is called, or book that is called, Interfaceless Conscious Design for Spatial Computing with Generative AI. Interfaceless is a work that showcases how we can begin implementing now and how in the future, the systems that are going to be capable of generating data very fast are going to be able to support the use of no 2D interfaces or flat interfaces in 3D spaces or spatial computing or in XR environments. And in order to showcase early work of this, we created a case study. It's called Imaging Realities, and it's an artistic work. But more than an artistic work, it's also an exploration of aspects that are exemplified in spatial computing, particularly interfaceless, in order to create experiences that are more meaningful and that don't necessarily rely heavily in 2D interfaces. And this brings us to this reflection of how art therapy impacts psychology. The reason why, within all the possibilities that we could have chosen to exemplify the reduction of the use of 2D interfaces, is specifically this, is because through specific research, we realize that there is many people in the world right now that is using art as a means to promote mental health. And art, it happens to be a very good scenario in order to see what are the results or the impact in 3D environments or in immersive environments. So that's why we chose this as a good example of how we can create more meaningful experiences, how we can leverage AI and all of these tools that are right now, and also the immersive aspect that can help us to maybe remotely access to these type of experiences if we cannot do it physically, for example. So the particular results or part of the results of the research on how art therapy impacts psychology are very evident. One of those ones is the reduction of stress, because when we are in immersive environments and we have a session where we are listening to a specific music that is designed for the purpose, that is enhancing or activating these brain waves that allow us to stay with low stress and to promote presence, those are part of the benefits that we can have in order to enhance and allow us to enter in mind states that are more aware, focused, and present. So one of those ones is the benefits, but also the fact that during art therapy sessions, specialized therapists can access these type of resources or spaces, immerse the patient or the person in these environments, and allow them to have deeper reflections. It is different, although this started with a book, but it's a little bit different when we have a book and we reflect on the picture. Although this is how the current therapy is working, what is called art therapy, some of the practices are based on this. However, we're trying to bring it in another level, another stage, which is immersing the person in this image. So the compilation of these images that were generated with AI are grouped in this book that is called Imaging Realities. But the ultimate intention is to bring them to immersive spaces, and that is part of the case study of interfaceless. There are many benefits. I invite you also to research if you like the topic. Many more benefits, but the main ones are related, of course, with enhancement of mood and more calm states of the mind. So this project particularly was designed having all the regular steps that are involved in design. And of course, because this is for an XR environment, it is following the standards for XR design. One of the first aspects of this design are related with the research and the creation of the empathetic profile, which is different to the typical user profile that is created in design, in the sense that empathetic means the integration of all the individual needs and the reflection of those individual characteristics or features or needs, as opposed to the demographics, which is the typical type of user profile that is created in traditional design. This is one of the different aspects that was integrated in this type of design. And as well, beside this, of course, there are the other stages related with all the conceptualization that happens in immersive spaces. So for this, the use of 3D apps, like for example, ShapesXR to do early prototypes, etc. That's what has been used, as well as the storyboarding, body storming, and all of these techniques. And then the next level of this, of course, it follows with development particularly for this project. The aim for this project is to be released in Vision Pro, because it is one of the devices right now that are allowing better gesture controls. And it happens that in order to present a case where we can showcase the use of the reduction of 2D UIs and the results, we need to use a gesture base of interactions. What does it mean? That typically when we are in a cell phone, we are having 2D UIs, and that's how all the navigation happens. But when we go to 3D environments, the navigation that is happening right now, sometimes we transfer 2D UIs and we put them in 3D environments. Gesture, what it does is that allows you to interact with objects similar how we interact in the real world without the need of other interfaces in order to say to the computer what we want to do. But we just do it using our own normal, natural human interactions, like reaching, grabbing an object, taking a look at it, etc. No, we don't use 2D UIs to do that in this proposal, and in this is gonna be anyways the feature of interactions. So this is what the normal process of design entails, and that's why I'm just giving you a quick walkthrough about that. Is the normal type of design that happens in XR. Now, what is new is that with this particular project, we have integrated a special aspects of design that we believe that are very important for future integrations of technologies of AI in XR or in extended reality mediums or spatial computing. This is an example of a little bit of the works that have been generated. The way to do this has been through researching a lot about what are keywords that a machine could understand in order to boost these feelings. There might be interesting talks here onto how the machine could represent feelings, right? But the machine in the coding, it also has certain parameters that even though the machine cannot feel, can rationalize in order to generate certain images that are crafted specifically for that type of purpose. This is an example of some of these images. And here, I want to let you know how the overall process goes summarized. It starts with the discovery, the research aspect, then is all the conceptualization, then we do some designs using apps like ShapesXR, then the project goes to development, testing, and then the final launching. Those are the general steps for any app that is intending to do like that. So basically, this doesn't change. It's something that is very familiar. But the generative art process is what is a little bit new. And I believe this is also an invitation for even developers or people that is creating experiences more independently to start integrating this type of apps. It's still applicable in that sense as well. First of all, it starts with ideation and themes. So that means this is an aspect where the human input gets into the creation. And in that sense, what we do is that we begin with developing, as part of the initial research and the data that we get from what is called users, but we call it humans in this model, and start reflecting on what are those outcomes that we are looking for and how we can get to them. And then once we get to those keywords as part of that research that we are trying to find, we input the keywords in a generator. And in this case, we use a generator that is called Midjourney, that is all there available to anyone. And after that, the image generation is produced, and we browse through different aspects to make sure, until in terms of psychology, these aspects that we are trying to look for or effects are there. For this particular project, more than 1,000 images were generated in order to get to the actual curation that human needs to do to make sure that it has the mood or the effects that are required. So as you notice in this process, there is a first inclusion of the human input in the initial phase. In the middle phase, the machine produces or works with the input that we provide. And in the final phase, human again curates and makes sure that the result is according with what we're looking for. And this is an example. This one is not particularly one of the ones that are there, but it's an example of this, how the process goes. We use this app or tool that is available called Midjourney, and then we input certain keywords. In this one, for example, we wanted a result related with water, with drugs, with a Zen feeling, and this is the type of generation that we get. There are many tutorials out there and many examples that you can follow. In fact, this is an invitation for you to check it out. It's very simple to use. It has a couple of nuances or commands that we need to learn. I have heard very often out there how specific you need to be or how the formula is for prompts. And of course, there are certain templates or guidelines that can help us. My very, very specific invitation, after producing close to 10,000 images in my own account, my insights on that are that instead of us creating a scarcity around prompts or how somebody can have the magic wand to create the best artwork, I believe it is not about a secret or something very specific. So the prompt engineering is something that I don't totally quite believe in, because I believe that creativity from humans is always limitless. And with that, we can experiment and create different type of outcomes based on keywords. So for me, the way that these machines work are by the means of keywords, specific keywords, and there are ways that we can iterate always on them. Of course, at some point, you start to create your own method so that you become more efficient, but that doesn't necessarily mean prompt engineering. It is more about the ways that you create around to make your work more effective or efficient. But this is a little bit of how the process has been creating this. At this point, I'm going to ask you, do you have any questions so far? Because if you do, I'm inviting you to scan this code so that you can reach out. I am going to be the person that is going to be there answering the questions, and then we can, of course, begin the conversation and answer any questions that you might have. So what is special about this case study is that we apply principles of conscious design and mindful design. To make a clear differentiation here, the difference between conscious design and mindful design is basically that in conscious design, we are very aware of what are all these elements that are going to affect the production of a design when it's delivered out there to the society. So it includes aspects that are related with society, like sustainability, the role that we're having by creating this design in terms of the environment. Believe it or not, there is an impact. Also, all the societal and maybe respect of ethical principles out there as well. When we are speaking mindful design, though, we're speaking about the individual. So, what are the aspects that are related with the respect of wellness, the well being, the presence, the focus, the attention of one individual, of that human? So that's the difference between conscious and mindful design. And of course, we have been doing all of these case study based on those principles. The model basically is related with the analysis and the integration of the traditional human-centric design, but related with all these two factors constantly. So related with conscious design and mindful design. So human-centric is not all about necessarily the individual. It's also about the impact of the creation of this work in the society. Social dynamics, and is how can people still interact with others, and all the aspects related with this, and intentional outcomes and awareness. So intentional outcomes is the group of metrics that allow us to decide if the design is considerate of all the factors that we have described there initially as compliant with the protection of human needs as well as the society. And this is done by the means of specific questions. Some of those ones are related with human focus. So when we are designing the experience, how good are we at the moment at considering what are the particular needs of this, what is to be called user, but here is called human in this model. How respectful are we being with their sense of presence, attention, well-being related with ergonomics, how long the person is staying in the experience, and how much of this staying in the experience comes from only business goals as opposed to the genuine desire because of the meaning of the experience that the human is having. Sustainability, what are the goals that we have out there in terms of making the experience using less resources in the environment, and conscious consumption, which is one that is very fundamental related with when we are immersed in a space. How do we know when our experience is too much, too long, and that if we are having the specific breaks or the specific needs that we have as humans, giving the agency to the person to decide those ones. And then we speak about immersion. So after we have done all of this process, then there is the time of immersion. So the design, particular design and development, and the actual delivery of the experience in a 3D environment. So this is an example of work that has been done, of course, for the design of these experiences in XR. As you can see, we have reduced completely basically the use of UIs. And this is intended to be released in Vision Pro using contextual awareness and gesture type of interactions. This case study is included in a book that is called Interfaceless, as I said at the beginning. Although this particular case study is still under development, it has had so far very great insights, because we have reached out as part of the research, etc., to organizations interested in testing this in their environments with their own networks in order to promote mental health and to offer the benefit of people of, instead of interacting in art therapies in a 2D image, for example, to offer the benefit of experiencing by themselves and walking around the space and delivering an amazing session where they can maybe achieve some of those goals that they want in terms of reduction of stress, management of depression, anxiety, and all of these mental health situations that sometimes arise. So Interfaceless is the overall general body of work that intends to invite designers and developers and tech enthusiasts to bring those reflections in their works related with the reduction of 2D interfaces and the application of conscious design principles. Right now, we have at our reach the use of these platforms like generative AI. And it is foreseen that in the future, we're going to be able to integrate artificial intelligence models in our works related with immersive technologies, where we're going to even give more agency to the human in terms of reading more specifically, based on mood and emotional states, what is the experience that they are looking for. Until we get there, though, there is a very big responsibility that we have. And this one is related with the ethics, the privacy, and all these issues that might arise if this is not taken seriously. That's why it is imperative for us as designers and developers to be very clear about what can we do in order to make sure that we create meaningful experiences, and that these meaningful experiences also protect not only the human, but also the society at large. One way to solve this is the use of or the application of conscious design and mindful design practices to our work. And this is all the proposal that happens in Interfaceless and in our particular study case, which is imaging realities, where we are applying these dreamscapes and these work of art for the purposes of mindfulness, reducing the use of 2D interfaces, as well as using artificial intelligence methods. So I'm so glad that we had this amazing opportunity to interact and get to know a little bit about this case study, which is ongoing, and we'll be making more updates as we go. But yeah, this is what has happened so far. And we're excited about this research. We're sharing all of these. Early January is going to be the release of Interfaceless. I'm inviting you to take a look. And if you have any questions, just as I said previously, please scan the QR code that is there so that we can chat. And if you are interested in getting to know about Interfaceless, you could do it if you subscribe at www.dianaolynick.com/interfaceless. We can also let you know once Interfaceless goes out. It's going to be January 2024, published by Springer Nature as part of the Design Thinking series. I'm super excited about this work and to be sharing this with you. Thank you so much for your beautiful presence. I am so excited that you got the time. I really, really appreciate your time and your attention. I think that this is going to be amazing. And also, of course, if you want to make a review about this when you get it, that would be amazing. Thank you so much and see you around. Bye for now.